My name is Maureen Hawke. I'm Director of Learning Connection Centre, where I have worked for over 30 years, helping and providing programs for children who have areas of their development or learning or behaviour that have gone off track. We offer parents a holistic service which includes looking at the reasons behind their child's difficulties and giving them home-based activities that will help overcome those just noticeable differences that they may display in their development, their learning or their behaviour. Because it's not that the treatments that these children have previously had that are the issue. It's often that they haven't been addressed in the correct order. We know that in all of the issues that children present with, there are usually multiple factors that can be contributing factors in that child's issues. The most common scenario surrounding the children that we see is presently auditory processing difficulties. A lot of parents are very concerned by the child's inability to stay on task in school. So classroom issues are very big as a reason that people seek our help. Language delays in the early children are also a common factor. And learning, of course, my child doesn't read, my child's having difficulty reading, my child never reads a book, my child hates reading. And then probably slightly further down the list, my child's having difficulty with mathematics. So there's a broad range of presenting problems, but parents have often been quite concerned for a long time, and parents are often concerned prior to the school saying there is an issue. Parents have often been concerned right from the child's earliest days, but they're frequently told that their child will grow out of it. But however, that doesn't happen for many of the children. Many of the children need specific help to assist them to grow out of their problems.
A lot of children come to us because other things that they've tried have already failed. You know, parents will come into our centre with reams of reports that they've had done. Basically, you know, at the schools they're sent off to an OT for assessment, they're sent off to a speech therapist, they're sent off to learning support. They've been sent all these different places. In a lot of cases they haven't had the practical help that they need. In the case of learning support, for example, you know, they may have been given great programs to use there, but they haven't had those foundational skills that they need to be able to get the most out of those programs. So that is what we're trying to achieve here, is to make sure those children do have the foundational skills that they need. So programs like learning support programs or remedial programs are much more effective. Basically, Learning Connections assessment is a 3-hour appointment. In that 3 hours, we look at all different areas, from auditory, visual, reflexes, motor skills, fine and gross, reading, writing, comprehension, spelling, diet, nutrition. Basically, the parents will come to the centre and we'll do some very basic screening tests with the children. After an assessment, often the children are quite relieved because they've actually found out that there is some physical reason why they're finding things more difficult than other children. For example, you know, a child may come in and do the auditory processing screening test that we do and realise that what they're actually hearing in the test is completely different to what's being said. Now, this is a child in a classroom situation who's never been able to follow instructions, and all of a sudden it's really clear to that child why they couldn't follow the instructions. They actually couldn't understand the instructions. What they were hearing and what they were processing, totally different things. And that can be a huge relief to children who have just assumed that they're dumb or they're stupid or they're not trying hard enough compared to everyone else. And suddenly they realise that it is something that can be worked on and fixed, and it gives them a lot more confidence.
The way we look at those areas is through our testing procedures, which help us identify where the problem lies more clearly, and in conjunction with parent information supplied to us and checklists, we can very quickly ascertain where we need to start. There are no quick fixes for any of these children. It's not like you can just take a pill and it will go away. So we have 3 programs for teachers in schools. We have our initial training, which teachers learn the core activities that are part of our program and the reasons why they should do it, as well as strategies for managing classroom behaviours. The other training we have is called the early years training, and this incorporates the core activities that are part of our school program, but focuses more specifically on activities that stimulate the sensory systems of children from 2.5 to school age. And there's lots of fun activities that teachers can just do and incorporate into their existing day. The other training programs that I do are half-day training programs of extension activities. Teachers who carry out our part of our training programs and carry out our programs see the benefit and see the value in it, and they are continually asking for more. They want more. They see how it works. They need to. Neuroscience is not part of teacher education. They're not given access to the connections between the brain and learning. So they love to come. They love to find out why they need to do things. They love to learn new activities to bring into their classrooms that help these children succeed in school.
Specifically designed exercises to get the left and the right hemispheres of the brain working together. That's why you'll notice that there's only a very limited number of exercises that the children are doing, and we know that when they go back into the classroom, their brains are then ready for learning. There's no wasted time once they get back into their literacy block in the classrooms. We believe it really does get the children's concentration and focus ready for learning, so we consider it part of our literacy block. It happens every morning before the kids start their learning. But what it is really interesting to note is that the differences in the concentration levels when children start their literacy block, there's no wasted time, they are ready for learning, and teachers notice that as a significant component of their learning day.
Learning Connections not only helps individual children, but we help teachers support whole classes of children.
We've got great results from teachers in their classroom programs.
Teachers need a great deal of support because of increasingly complex difficulties in children entering school.
We have teachers say, we do the program because it works.
We have teachers tell us all the time, when they don't do the program, the children are not so focused.
Sometimes the children actually ask the teacher to do the activities.
Well, my name is Anne Beasley. I have a son, Glenn. He's now 12 years old. We knew he had a problem from when he was about 3 years old. He had continuous ear problems, hearing problems, lots of grommets, about 4 or 5 loads of grommets. And from when he was at preschool, we have been doing occupational therapy, speech therapy with him for the whole time. So we knew there was a problem, but we couldn't actually get a fix on what that problem was. We went to pediatricians, specialists, and no one could tell me, this is the problem, this is what you have to do. So we tried everything, as I said, occupational therapy. We did all kinds of sports, just trying to get his coordination going, and nothing seemed to help. So that's the situation that we were in for many, many years. And as a mother, and seeing all the potential in your son, and him not actually being able to achieve it, it was absolutely heartbreaking, and you will do anything in that situation to try and do the best for your child. We tried to get Glenn swimming from about the age of 3 years of age, which he could never do because he couldn't get his coordination right. Of course, living in Australia, we have to get him to swim. It's such a huge sport. Now he's been doing swimming lessons for the last year, and he is caught up. He is swimming, he loves it, and he can partake in races, school swimming, everything, which is huge in his life. What I loved about Learning Connections is we actually had results that we could use to measure his progress. So we had the base results, and then he was tested every 6 months. We do the exercises, the eating plan that he was on, and we could see the results. We spoke to his teachers the whole time, and they were always communicating back to us how the improvement was coming on. He felt a lot more secure. He could now keep up with his friends. He knew that he had to do the exercises, but he was quite happy to do it because he could see the results. From battling with everything, he was starting to make way and actually keep up with his friends. So from his point of view, he would do whatever he had to do, and of course we would, being parents who just wanted to see him achieve his potential.
Callum went to preschool at what is called an SEDU, Special Education Development Unit. He did 18 months there. We then moved him into a special education unit at a mainstream school with a unit attached. Last year, after started the Learning Connections program last year. This year, Callum's moved into mainstream school. He's now at grade 2. It had been indicated to us 2.5, 3 years ago that we probably couldn't expect Callum to read or write because that was just going to be too hard for him. And now we're at the stage where Callum's reading and writing, and he's certainly at an age-appropriate level, which we're delighted about. And really, I suppose everybody that sees him is quite amazed.
My name's Anthony Brown. I have a 9-year-old son who has autistic spectrum. He was diagnosed about 3 years ago, and through a group I attend, autism group, that somebody there had been to Learning Connections, and they recommended them as a very good place to come along and help him with his extra learning. That was 3 years ago. I brought him here, and I can honestly say that the input here has made a huge difference to his demeanour, to his learning. He's come on leaps and bounds, and I really can't thank them enough here for what they've done for my son. I've actually got involved as well, trying to help them with promotion of the Learning Connections, being a charity. So I spread the word wherever I can, put up posters, that type of thing. But anyone that listens to this and hears this, if you've got a child with any affliction that like autism or ADHD or Asperger's or anything like that, I strongly recommend you bring them along to Maureen and the team. You'll find your child will benefit immensely from the program.
Learning Connections it's very practical. You know exactly the steps you have to take to improve your children's ability. It's easy to follow, as you know exactly where to go, but it does take a lot of time. It's effectively changed Glenn's life. We followed the program with the help of the school for 18 months, and now he can do everything that his fellow students can do.
Over the years, I've seen great successes with the family. Initially, you have the phone call from the parents and they're distraught and they're distressed about what's happening with their children in the classroom and their behaviour, etc. They come along for an assessment and get given a program, and you see the results when they come for their first check-back visit, and that's really exciting. You see the academic changes. Often the children's reading comprehension has jumped, their reading ages have improved, their behaviour in the classroom's improved. But the one that gets me more than anything else really is when the family comes back and says, my child now has friends.
Learning Connections is really making a difference in the lives of children.
It's helping children to be the best that they can.
It's helping children across a wide range of areas,
which in turn helps the families as well.
It's not only learning that Learning Connections helps, it is social skills as well.
So, You find the children can relate better to their classmates, they're better in sporting activities, and they're generally much happier.